G'day nerds and welcome back to another video. This time we're talking about 10 controversial Magic cards.
With over 30 years of cards, we've been introduced to things that are weird, wild, and really problematic.
From plagiarism to straight up misfortunate timing, we thought it'd be interesting to look back at some of the most controversial cards from Wizards history.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Trouble in Pairs.
First up on our list, Trouble in Pairs. I always call this one Trouble in Paris. I don't know why. I don't know who was in Paris. The card's art by Faye Dalton was actually traced from a 1995 piece by Donato Giancola.
Say again?
Donato? Fuck! It's the same composition. It's like the same poses. If you like zoom in, you can genuinely see where they fucking traced it.
The baking paper.
Yeah. Got a lot of attention online. I saw it on Twitter. It was very Twitter. You can still buy the card, you still use it. The problem I think as well is it's actually a pretty fucking good card. I almost call it like a white staple card. Every time I see it, first of all, I call it Trouble in Paris. Don't know why. I got bullied for that. I actually think I'm just dyslexic. They were laughing at me like, oh, I got Paris and Magic the Gathering. They got Bikini Bottom. The situation sparked a lot of conversations around vetting processes, around plagiarism, crediting artists correctly as well, who is then credited as the artist in the card. They make so many cards. I don't know in a world in which properly vet every single card. It's a 1995 piece. Obviously someone online found it, picked it up. It's super blatant. Are they gonna be able to know every single piece of art that's ever existed? The other wild thing as well is the artist Donato is currently a Magic artist. He makes other cards for Wizards. So Donato did the art for the card caught red-handed.
That's scripted.
Yeah, that's gotta be. Yeah,
bullshit.
Someone's in on this shit.
Persecute Artist.
Persecute Artist. Rebecca Gay, very famous Magic artist that out of fucking nowhere, Wizards just went hella quiet because her work was deemed too feminine. They didn't like that someone was doing something kind of beautiful.
I heard about this, that they didn't actually bring her back. They got a new art director in, right? I did hear about this, yeah.
They pretty much cut her from work for being too feminine, some pretty major sodge action. Kind of cooked thing is, over the years that she'd been doing work for Wizards, she grew quite a big fucking cult following, and the outrage that poured in via email when they stopped sending her work crashed their servers.
It was back in 2001, so what was that, 10 emails?
Following the post-Y2K crash, they managed to patch things up, but I guess on the way out she got a little fucking...
a little jab in.
A little jab in, and when they released the Unhinged set, she had a card that was called Persecute Artist, which essentially is the biggest fucking dig an artist can give about remember when you didn't give me work? Fuck you.
Hey, that just kind of proves to me that there's someone at Wizards that has a sense of humor.
Faithless Looting.
So the next one is Faithless Looting. Most people probably heard about this. Ristic Studies did a video. If you look at it, you could see how it could be jarring or off-putting. This caused such a stir online. The art, say what you will about it, and this is classic in brackets artist subjective, but that's kind of not what we're talking about here. The reason it's controversial is just because of the outrage it stirred within the Magic community. And I'm actually pretty stoked that the artist and Wizards came out and said something about it and just stood behind it and was just it is what it is. You don't like it? Whatever.
Haters gonna hate.
But yeah, people thought it was AI generated, which is hilarious now because people don't seem to give really much of a fuck about that at all.
Nope.
Before they turn themselves into some Miyazaki shit.
Kaarn Silver Golem.
Kaarn Silver Golem, going back to Urza's Saga. This was a card that was printed on the reserved list. So in 1996, Wizards, along with Mark Rosewater, set a list that was called the reserved list. These were cards that were not to be reprinted in order to protect secondary market value. Very important thing that was brought into existence. This matters a lot. 30th Magic anniversary. Did we learn a lesson? Anyways, in 2010-11, Wizards decided, let's just test the waters a little bit, push the boundary. So they reprinted a few things, including Kaarn. This was fucking horrific.
Did they just straight reprint it, or?
It was a special foily version in some premium sort of thing you could buy. It backfired. Horrific. Investors, collectors, people blew the fuck up because it's where's the sanctity of our reserved list? This is something that you promised to us that wouldn't be touched, that they touched. The fallout, Mark Rosewater pretty much publicly came out and was just look, we were testing the waters using a loophole. Didn't really work, apologized a bunch, and since this incident, the reserve list has been closed. There's no touching it. There's no reprinting it. Its sanctity is set in stone.
Fucking 30th anniversary.
We'll come back.
Okay. It's like that classic, should Magic be accessible to more people? And I think it shouldn't.
We're close.
We're close. There's an element I really like about Magic where certain cards are bonkers expensive. Cards that I'll probably never be able to afford, and that's fine. I like that Post Malone buys a card for $2 million. I like that Black Lotuses go for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Makes me feel like more like it's not a phase, mum.
That's perfect.
I tell people that I do Magic content and they're like, oh, like what's that? And I'm like, you know, Post Malone bought a card for $2 million. It's on first.
Make it relatable.
Yes,
Make it relatable.
Yeah. So I'm all about that. I personally don't touch that shit.
Reparations.
The next card is a card called Reparations. It's from Mirage. It's a bit of a relic, that's putting it mildly, of the 90s, aged very poorly. The card features a white character handing a scroll to a black man with the flavor text, "Sorry I burned down your village, here's some gold." It is rough. I don't think anyone really knew that this was like a card until Wubby, essentially.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah, he did a stream and it was like, here's all the cards that are banned for being racist, for good reason. And he's like, what about this one? There's a pretty good case to ban this one. The thing they say about this card is that you can literally see a spike where people started rushing out to buy it.
Right.
Because they thought this is the next one to get banned. So you can see the graph clearly shows the money going up, and now it's dipped ever since it really hasn't been banned. It's currently sitting at about $6 on Card Kingdom. Interesting that so many people were out there just being like, oh, I gotta grab all these I possibly can before they ban it. I mean, I'm not gonna make an argument for any of the cards they ban, but I mean, if you sit this beside them, you wouldn't be surprised. You'd be like, yeah, it checks out.
Borborygmos and Pithing Needle.
Borborygmos Enraged, and Pithing Needle. This made an appearance in like a Pro Tour fucking way back when. But essentially what happens is Pithing Needle is a card that says, name a card, activated abilities of that card cannot be activated. So in this Pro Tour, a guy plays Pithing Needle against, at the time, it was a pretty oppressive deck, Borborygmos Enraged, and he names Borborygmos, leaving out the enraged part. There's a few different recallings of how all this shit went down, and by all means, it's been covered to death. However, he names Borborygmos, which is already an existing card. His opponent then goes, you sure? Yeah, that's the card I'm naming. All right, cool. Slams down a Borborygmos Enraged, and this fucker just throws lands at people for damage. He plays the card and proceeds to activate the ability. Judge gets called and pretty much loosely confirms, shit, the rules are actually in your favor. He named Borborygmos. He did not name Borborygmos Enraged. One hell of a way to go out on a technicality.
That's like, can I go to the bathroom? I don't know, can you?
They did change the ruling, so it was pretty much, I'm gonna name Borborygmos, identifying that card.
Sure, it's in the deck, it makes sense. You wouldn't name a card that's not in the deck.
So they sort of fixed that up in post, but a little bit too late for the homie who just fucking copped the L.
Unholy Strength.
This is going back to Alpha, baby. We're talking old as fuck.
OG,
You smell that cardboard? It's aged. Like a fine Parmesan cheese. Not wine, because drinking is cringe and will kill you. The original artwork for the card, it had a giant pentagram in the background of it. And we're in the 90s, the early 90s. It pissed off a lot of religious groups. As of 4th edition, so moving forward just a little bit, reprints of the card, noticeably no pentagram. So due to all the pressures from these like religious groups hating on the demonic and satanic themes, they removed the pentagram entirely. This then led to them stopping the printing of cards that were demon subtypes.
That's fucking nuts.
Demon as a whole just disappeared for a while, eventually coming back. But yeah, the power of the church, baby.
That's so fun. Like, I don't want to like go back for much, but I would go back for that. Do you know what I mean? That's heavy metal, dude. That's sick.
The Walking Dead.
A really fun one to touch on. And I actually own this product because I'm a fan of the series. The Walking Dead Secret Lair. This is hella controversial because this was the first one that was like an IP that was just like this ain't magic. So what happened is they released a unique secret lair, limited availability, and all the cards printed in it were unique and you couldn't find them outside of this drop. Meaning that if you wanted to play Negan or Rick, the only way to do so was to buy this secret lair. You couldn't crack a pack and get lucky. Fuck no. This shit's behind a paywall. At the time, I don't think there were any queues, but like limited availability.
Yeah.
Shit's a bitch. With the introduction of this new shit that no one's ever seen before, a lot of outrage. Collectors hated it, players like loathed it. Commander players had no fucking idea what was going on because there was a whole bunch of legendary creatures that could be commanders that they couldn't get. Naturally, I think the normal response is to be pissed. You didn't wake up at 2 a.m. to get your new commander that you can only play by buying this set? That's crazy.
The other contention from memory was that they were black-bordered. People kind of argue that they wouldn't really care if they were like, say, like a silver-bordered card or anything like that. But the fact that it was like playable in certain formats.
A ton of people, like the outrage from people that were playing like competitive, and the biggest format we play is Commander. Fuck, we even have a show called Go for the Throat. You should watch it. Commander players were just like, this is really cool, very viable cards, some of them, that you can't get a hold of anywhere. And they're also like incredibly mechanically unique. People it was not printed in anything else, and it is still to this day like a $60 card. Don't get me wrong, they eventually heard the outcry and reprinted these cards, named different things.
Right, that's right. They kind of retconned it after that.
Yeah, because like the intention behind a lot of this shit, which annoyed a lot of people, was it was just like, oh, this is the first time and also the last time.
That's right.
The outrage when this launched was insane. And it was that insane that they literally said, okay, we hear you and we are not going to do this again. But this opened the door for things like Fortnite, Transformers, SpongeBob fucking Who Cares pants. Yes, I bought it. We were promised that this wouldn't happen again, and yet we've seen it happen again, and it's pissed a lot of people off, including me, as someone who also enjoys the product, because it's like the sanctity of the game, I guess, is a little at risk when things like this happen, where something is printed, but it's not made readily available to everyone.
From memory that they said that they would never do a set of secret layers again where you couldn't get them in another version in like any other Magic card. But they've since just kind of thrown away that as well. Kind of has the feeling of like taking an inch and then taking a mile. Right. Because now we've got what? We've got what fucking, is it 3 Universes Beyond sets a year or is it 2?
Oh jeez, I can't keep track.
When I swear to God, if you had started with that, like 3 Universes Beyond sets a year back when they tried Walking Dead, I reckon the game would be like killed.
The scope of what it would look like would be very different from what we know and love now.
Yeah. What do you think of our list? Let us know in the comments below. I'm pretty excited with the cards we picked. There's some stuff here that I have not seen anyone talk about before. If you like our content, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It helps us a lot. We've got a Commander show, Go for the Throat, that you can check out. We've got a new episode coming out on the 13th. It's going to be gnarly. It's going to be Gnarls Barkley, as the kids say.
Kids, what?
I don't know. I don't talk to kids. See you next week. Whenever.
Get out of here.
Yeah.